Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we're doing the what's next on Emanuel Navarrette, the WBO featherweight champion of the world at 126 pounds. We're going to look at what he's going to be doing going forward as he, on August 20th, returned to defend his title against Eduardo Baez and stopped him on a brutal body punch in the 6th round. Baez couldn't continue, and Navarrette retained his belt again. So now, you know, we got to see what's next for Emanuel Navarrette following that win. So the hot topic right now is that Navarrete could be moving to 130 pounds to take on, he said he's interested in the Shakur Stevenson fight, but he thinks the Oscar Valdez fight makes more sense. And to be honest, I kind of agree, but it depends on what Shakur wants to do next. If Shakur is going to try to unify, I know Hector Garcia has been calling him out, but that's Top Rank working with the PBC at 130. It depends on what he does after he potentially defeats, or presumably defeats, Robson Consaichao, who he's fighting in September. So, you know, Navarrete could move up and take on Stevenson right off the bat, or he could fill himself out and take on Oscar Valdez, which, to be honest, I think he's got a good shot against Valdez. So, and that's a good all-out Mexican battle right there. You know, so it just really depends on what Bob Arum wants to do if Navarrete is interested in moving up. But since he's still the WBO champ at 126, we're going to run through the top 10 right now and see what's possible in this wide open division. So we start with WBC champion Rey Vargas. That's not on the table. Vargas is fighting Leo Santa Cruz, and he's also with the PBC. They're unifying belts. And then if Vargas wins, which I think he will, he's got a mandatory due against the WBA regular champion following that. So there's no chance of Vargas and Navarrete. Next up is Mark Magsayo, the former WBC champion. Not likely. He's with the PBC. He's also coming off a loss, and Navarrete's with Top Rank. Next up is former champ Gary Russell Jr. Not likely. Russell's with the PBC. It's kind of a bad matchup anyways, but that's Top Rank and PBC working together, so it doesn't make sense. Then you got, following him is Brandon Figueroa, another one. He's number 4 in the WBO. So unless they ordered a mandatory bout between him and Figueroa because the other guys passed on it, I don't see this fight happening. Plus, he's with the PBC and Navarrete's with Top Rank. So they would have to order the fight because the other guys passed on it is what would have to happen in order for Figueroa to get his shot here. Not completely ruling it out if it's a mandatory fight and it's also a really good matchup. But for now, until the WBO were to order that, I don't see it happening. Then you got Mauricio Lara, top contender. Not likely. Lara's fighting Lee Wood next, and if he's successful, he's got a mandatory shot against the winner of Vargas and Santa Cruz. So I really don't see that possible right there for him. Even though Lara's the WBO number 2 contender, he's already taken the fight with Lee Wood. Then you got IBF champion Josh Warrington. Not likely. Warrington's going to probably make a mandatory against Luis Lopez next, and if successful, they're probably going to be directing him towards somebody, you know, somebody with DAZN, Matchroom, to set up a potential unification later on, to, you know, depending on when the smoke settles from the Vargas-Santa Cruz fight and the Lee Wood-Mauricio Lara fight. Then you got former champion Kiko Martinez. You know, I wouldn't completely rule that out, but does that fight really make sense for Navarrete? I don't think so. You know, he's coming off of a knockout loss to Josh Warrington this year. It would just be kind of stay busy kind of action, and Kiko doesn't really make any sense. Kid Galahad hasn't officially moved up in weight yet, but he's a former champ, but I don't see that being a possibility considering he lost to Kiko and has been talking about moving up to 130. And then you got the other guys rounding out the top 10, which are Joet Gonzalez and Isaac Dogbe. I put them kind of right next to each other. Those would be rematches. Dogbe's number 1 in the WBO. If the WBO ordered that fight, I don't know if Navarrete wants to fight because he's already beaten Dogbe twice. Even though they're both with Top Rank, does he really want to run it back a 3rd time? I don't know. Joet Gonzalez is coming off the loss, so for me, I don't think that one makes sense. Yeah, he's coming off of he's coming off of 2 losses in 3 fights, and one of those was to Navarrette last year, and he just lost to Dogbe by a close split decision. So would Navarrette want to fight him again? I just don't see the point in it. Michael Conlan. I think this fight makes sense. Conlan was beating Lee Wood, convincingly when he got stopped in the 12th round. They're both with the WBO, or they're both with Top Rank. I wouldn't completely rule out, if Navarrette's still in optional mode and he doesn't go to 130, I wouldn't completely rule out a Conlan bout. So that's it with the top 10 guys. Where do I see Navarrette going? It really is up in the air for me right now. I think there's a good chance he moves to 130. But I also think there's a good chance he stays here because you have a guy like Michael Conlan sitting there. But is Michael Conlan ready for Navarrette yet? I'm leaning towards no. So if I had to call it right now, I'd say probably 130. And that's a shame because 126 is so good. But I really think Navarrette did himself a disservice. I think he made a bad move re-signing with Top Rank because right now, there's a lot of PBC guys and there's a couple Matchroom guys, and those guys are making the big fights happen. You got Vargas and Santa Cruz, both with the PBC, unifying belts. Lee Wood and Mauricio Lara, both with DAZN, and they're making that fight. Those winners are going to fight each other in the first half of next year, and then it's likely you're going to have, like your Brandon Figueroas or Josh Warringtons and guys like that sitting there waiting for the winner. And Navarrette just signing with Top Rank, he lowered his chances of being able to land a unification bout or a significant fight. So I'm pretty bummed about that because I really wanted to see Navarrette and Navarrette in there. Once he was released, once his contract was over with Top Rank last year, I was really hoping he would make a smart move and sign with the PBC or even DAZN, but he didn't do that. And now, it doesn't look like there's a lot of great fights for him at 126 or big fights. But maybe if he stays here, maybe we can see Michael Conlan. Maybe we could see Robesai Ramirez sometime next year. But we just got to wait and see. So that's it. That's the what's next on the reigning WBO featherweight champion of the world at 126 pounds, Emanuel Navarrete, following his dominating 6th round TKO victory over Eduardo Baez. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.